Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
I'm gonna need someone in the comments to explain this one to me, because I cannot, for the sake of common sense, understand why the harpy is so appealing to some people. You tell me a woman with chicken legs and feathers for arms is considered a waifu? How? Cause seriously, all I see here is dinner. If I seriously saw this thing out in the open, I'd pull out the hot sauce and give it a Clint Eastwood stare and ask it if it's feeling lucky. Because what the hell is a bird on the outside of a human-like body and wings? Because seriously, who made you? Where are your parents? Is your father's name Diddy? How does it feel being half woman and half of a KFC recipe? Do you taste better with hot sauce or barbecue sauce? You see, I'm already getting hungry. But am I really wrong if I try to eat her? How is it my fault that you look like a chicken? And I know what you're thinking, viewer. Nah, it's just a harpy. She's half woman. You can't eat her. You know why I said that? Bet. All I see is a free KFC meal, and I hear the words of Bugs Bunny saying, it's duck season. A harpy is supposed to be half woman, half bird, but to me, this is like mostly a bird. She ain't got no feet. Those chicken thighs aren't on the plate, and those arms look a little bit too much like wings for me. I can't do it. If she ain't on the plate, covered in hot sauce, I don't want it. This is seriously worse than the mermaid waifu. The mermaid waifu may be missing legs, but at least she had arms. The harpy ain't really got no arms. She ain't really got no legs. In every image and iteration I've seen of a harpy, she's mostly covered in feathers. And the original idea for a harpy, at least for her looks, is just a bird with a woman's head. Voice! So, hey, yo, what is this? Why isn't that bird on the plate? Bruh, that's what I said. You gotta do the rest of the video, because I can't do this. I wasn't raised to mess around with birds. We eat them where I'm from. They my ops, they gotta die. Well, how do you think I feel? I hate birds too. Matter of fact, me and the squad got this big beef going on with this geese group. Geese group? Yeah, man. I was working outside one day, and all of a sudden, I walked past this duck-looking thing. And you know what it did? It hissed at me. Oh, no, that duck didn't. Oh, yes, it did. I Superman punched that thing in the throat. It talking like Daffy Duck now. Wait, are you sure it was a duck? I never seen a duck really hiss at a person. Well, it looked and sounded like this right here. Oh, hell no. Put that thing on a plate. Yeah, we wildcats out here. We don't birds. That's barely even the birds, more like a demon. Look at his voice. It's even doing blackface. You know what? Yeah, it is blackface. Hey, Black Lives Matter doesn't include you, buddy. Damn straight. We blacks are proud people. Yeah, viewers, we don't harpies. We do up though. Now you get the hot sauce and I'll get the shotgun. We having eggs and chicken tonight. Yay, yay. All right, another KFC bucket. It may be a little much for a cat, but it's all mine. You can't have it. Now, what is a harpy? The original harpies originated from ancient Greece mythology, and they were mostly seen in the myth as frightful creatures that were part woman, part bird. Or in other words, viewer, they were pure as expected of the chicken leg woman. A woman with thighs that aren't like Emma Frost thighs could never be good. Never, or could they? Because reading further, I found that early harpies were not evil or terrifying. Rather, depictions of harpies were often on tomes, and they may have been considered ghosts or wind spirits. And reading further, I found that the harpy was a Greek word for snatcher, and possibly the harpies were thought to be the beings that snatch the souls away to the underworld at death. I don't know about you, but that sounds a little bit like a Valkyrie from Norse mythology. Not exactly the same, but you get the point. But the real question is, were they as hot as some Valkyries? It says here that they often had pale faces and were described as being quite ugly compared to ordinary women, though other references describe them as being beautiful. In fact, a Greek poet named Hesiod, I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced, described two specific harpies, Alcibiade and Alo, as having lovely hair and constantly swooping through the wind like powerful birds. Now this poet was more infatuated by these creatures, but other poets saw them more as like this. Ugh, that chick will have to go down with some good honey mustard. More or less, we can assume from this that most people saw harpies as pretty ugly. And even if these two specific harpies are an exception, they still have the original harpy-like body. So maybe Hesiod meant beautiful as in like maybe a different beautiful. Like how most people would say a flower looks beautiful, but not in the same way a woman does. And whether they were beautiful or not, harpies were still known mythically as the tormentors of Phineus, the blind king of Thrace. In the myth of the Argonauts, harpies would torture King Phineus by taking most of his food and leaving only uneatable remains behind. The harpy was also said to have sharp claws and a beak. And one of the worst things I read was, apparently, they stank. And you know, viewer, there's nothing worse than stinking coochie. Ooh, disgusting. And also a skill issue. Nothing like us clean, proper cats. He's not a cat, don't let him fool you. I'm a cat, goddammit. Anyway, harpies was said to leave behind a hideous smell that no human could abide. And I mean, viewer, no one was able to endure this smell. That's how bad it was. And with that being said, I think it's safe to say that harpies, at least in Greek mythology, are definitely not wise to smash. Something that could possibly take a soul to the underworld doesn't really sound very appealing anyway. Plus you have sharp claws and maybe a beak. You steal food and people. You're more than likely 9 times out of 10 very ugly. And I mean Rasputia levels of ugly. Drop dead ugly. So ugly that Zeus calls you a hound instead of a bird. Do you know how ugly a bird woman has to be considered a dog instead of an actual bird by the literal king of the Greek gods? Just nasty individuals. Ugh, it's official, cats are better. I mean, harpies are definitely not wise to smash. You can trust me on that. This is completely unbiased, and just because I'm a cat eating a bucket of chicken does not mean you should discredit everything I just said. And I means it. I swear it's on this chicken wing. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, you piece of shit. God, that chicken hit the spot. All right, now that I'm full and probably twice my original weight, it's time to talk about some of the best Harpy waifus in fiction. And I don't care what any of you say, I refuse to believe that Pappy or Poppy or Popeye's chicken over here is the best one. Now, she may be one of the best known ones, but honestly, the horse girl is better. And that is definitely not a hot take. The horse girl is just better. Now, who is this? Sally, huh? Well, I see two good reasons why I should like you.
A few moments later.
Well, that one's definitely not safe for work. I spent like 2 hours trying to find her in that manga, and for the life of me, I could not find her whatsoever. I did, however, find a super thick cow waifu, and she's apparently a MILF and a warrior. So, just gonna leave the title of that manga here. Remember, it's not safe for work, so do with that what you will. Now, I did find another Harpy waifu from the anime called That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, and her name is Frey. Now, Frey here isn't just a harpy. Oh no, she is a harpy queen. And her character basically takes all the cons that the original harpy has and just throws them out the window. She has bird talons for feet, but she can easily replace them with human legs and feet, so that doesn't matter. And just like everybody else in this series, she's extremely overpowered. And I mean, just look, this is a list of all her skills, abilities, extra skills. I mean, am I seeing that correctly? She not only has unique skills and intrinsic skills, but she has extra skills. And then some! Now, one of her abilities as a queen type harpy that I want to point out is her ability to reproduce without the need for a partner. And with that being said, she is also a MILF. This woman has not one, not two, but 3 daughters that were born with no biological father. Now, I guess this can be seen as one con, but again, she has no baby daddies. So, smash! But as soon as we're done, I'm leaving to go get the milk and never returning. She's still the ops, no matter how thick. I will come back for a round 2 though, not gonna lie. Alright, next one and last one for this video, Monet from One Piece. Now, in the story of One Piece, she's currently deceased because she was accidentally killed by Caesar. Long story short, Law switched her heart with Smoker's heart, making Caesar here think that he was killing Smoker. And all I can say to that is, good riddance. This woman is described as sadistic and a skilled liar. She literally helped Caesar drug children while also spying on Caesar. And she was spying on Caesar literally for one of the worst people in the series, Doflamingo. So yeah, if you know anything about the character Doflamingo, you know any character related to him is more or less really not a good person. I mean, the dude is literally evil just because. No real reason, no sad backstory, just because he wants to be. And she works for that guy. So yeah. Now, she didn't always have harpy wings and legs. She apparently at some point had Law replace her arms and legs with that of a bird's. Now, this may be for combat reasons, I'm not sure, because her harpy abilities are not her main abilities. She has the devil fruit, and her devil fruit is called the Yuki Yuki no Mi, and I think it's also called the Snow Snow fruit. It's a Logia type devil fruit, and it allows her to create, control, and transform her body into snow. Pretty self-explanatory, but she can do a lot with this ability. If you didn't know this about One Piece characters, if they have a Logia type devil fruit, it basically makes them invulnerable, which means they're hard to hit or that they can't be touched or hit, at least without hockey. And it gives them strong offensive abilities. So she's pretty powerful. At least that's what I thought until she got beat by Zoro. Man had her literally frozen. She thought she was dead, which makes her actual death stand out even more because Zoro basically spared her. She died, basically because of karma. Another one bites the dust. Tragic. And I'll just say the obvious real quick. She really doesn't have any pros except for the fact that she is very attractive and her powers are pretty cool. But other than that, she is an awful person. So I would probably say smash, but smash with great caution. Now, eventually I may talk about Pappy or Poppy or Popcorn Chicken another time, but not this video. More likely in the second one. You must admit her design compared to the other two I just mentioned is rather lacking. I mean, come on, if you're gonna have bird legs and wings, you gotta have something a little extra to keep my attention. And cuteness is not it. So anyway, leave in the comments what you think, and tell me which Harpy waifus you want to hear about in the second part of this video. And do you also have a hidden beef with birds? Specifically the ones that hiss at you? If you do, tell me in the comments, and you guys have a great day. Bye!